Hello and welcome to today's installment of Creativity on Fire, where we try to fire you up and get you inspired about being more creative. And it doesn't matter what version of creativity you are practicing, whether it's something in the arts, something in the crafts, the sciences, just being creative at work to solve a problem. That's what we're here for. So today we're going to talk about getting in the zone, because there are those days when you find, or even the hours you're doing a project, and you suddenly wake up and realize that you've zoned out. You've lost an hour or two or a half hour or something, that you've zoned out and you were highly productive. And it's like, what happened? How did you do that? And sometimes we do that in the car. We just sort of automatically drive, and you wake up and you're where you were and you're like, whoa, what happened? We do that with creativity too. And you get into the flow and into the zone, and some people say, oh, my muse came to see me. But in reality, it's almost a meditative state where your brain goes into, I don't even want to say a trance. It's, you have turned off your normal everyday filters that require you to act a certain way, to think a certain way, and to be a certain way. These are things that we were trained as children to think certain ways, to be a certain type of person. Be a good boy because your dad will beat you if you don't, that sort of thing. It's a little extreme, but it's like, what will grandma think if? What will your mom think if? We were taught those things as children in order to make us conform. And now as adults, we're finding those rules may not necessarily apply. And when you're being creative, they tend to inhibit the creative process. So it's a matter of learning how to turn those off, turn those rules off, turn even the taboos off in some respects if it's related to your craft. Turning those off and being open and willing to have experiences about anything and talk about anything. Even if you're just putting paint on paper and you want a great time, or you're doing a sketch, you have to let go of the rigid rules. When I've taught sketching, I have found that people try to do architectural renderings because they think that's what they are supposed to do, but it's not. You are supposed to record the world that you're seeing, and especially if it's your travel journal or your nature journal or whatever, it's your world that you are making. It's not an architectural rendering that's going to go into the Museum of Modern Art or going for a client. If you're doing architectural renderings, those are for a client. Those have very specific needs. But in your art, it's you, it's your stories that we want to hear. It's those things that we want to see. We want you to come through. And they have found there is a type of dementia, which name escapes me at the moment, that it's really a horrific type of dementia because it starts eating your brain away. And the first symptoms show up with people who aren't normally creative, all of a sudden became very, very creative. They drop everything else and they start painting, they start writing, they start doing things because this creativity just starts flowing out of them. Well, what's happened is their frontal lobe is being eaten away, and so all their inhibitions are being destroyed. And eventually this disease does destroy the brain and they die. But they have about 2 years of amazing creativity. There's also a stimulant drug. Caffeine works, but there's another stimulant, which a name I've forgotten also, because I just learned about these and it takes me a while to remember those names, that a lot of artists have taken. They get addicted to it, but their creative output is amazing. And I'm not advocating that you get a life-threatening form of dementia or that you start taking drugs in order to be more creative. I'm actually encouraging you to tap into that part of your brain that's there. It's there in all of us. We all have it, especially as children. And then as we learn, it gets blocked off. To break down those walls and allow that creativity to come out and just say, what if? What if I try this way? Or what if we do something another way? And that's why I like learning the rules of whatever medium you're doing and then start going, well, what if we push the boundaries? What will happen if? What will this look like if? How will I feel if I make my clothes this way today? Or what will my garden look like if I put these plants in instead of what the magazines are saying is trendy this year. So experiment with it. Practice letting go, breaking down those walls, breaking down those boundaries of the rules. And I'm it's like, yeah, get rid of the rules for your creativity, let it flow, and it will take some practice, because you'll find you might be a little afraid when you start doing it. You might be, oh, wait a minute, that makes me a little uncomfortable. And then as you slide into it, you will start getting into that meditative state, that flow state of being just pure, allowing the creativity to come through. So like when I write, I like to listen to soundtracks, and there's some music soundtracks that I like. I don't listen to vocal because that pulls me back into the analytical side of the brain. If I'm just listening, I can get into a good groove of doing things that I can't, and I don't otherwise. So I find I'm more productive if I listen to music while I write or while I do something immensely creative than if I don't. So that's one hint, is to do music. Some people meditate. It just depends on what it is that you're doing. So that's it. If you haven't subscribed to get notifications on YouTube, the little bell is below on the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on my blog, please leave a note. I would love to hear from you. Let me know if you have questions or concerns, and if you would love to get the email once a week of notification as to when these are posted. Just sign up at leekellogg.com, and I will see you all next time. Bye.